What's up? This is Vanessa Satten from Double XL. We're doing Moments of Clarity podcast, episode whatever. We're here today. No Ramon. Is it four? But then we start. It's all over the place with the numbers. Ramon's not here today, but congratulations to him.
Yes, the newborn.
New
the newborn.
baby. Saw pictures, cutest little thing possible. So
Yeah.
our co-star is not here today, but for good reason. So we got JFK and we have Shaheem, and we're here to talk about. Well, first we got a new issue of XXL.
The new one.
Juice WRLD and Little Baby on the cover.
Wow.
Yeah, go get that, read that, check that out. All right, there's the plug there. And then we got what happened today or this week in hip hop. So I guess first thing is more Tekashi, just a little bit more Tekashi, 6ix9ine over there. So he was off the witness stands as of last week, but the trial kind of still went on this week. This week, what we've learned is that he's probably getting out of the top of 2020.
Right.
Although I believe it's this year secretly. But allegedly getting out of the top of 2020, so they're saying, and that he's not going into the witness protection program. There was some conversation before that he might. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, the witness protection program to me was kind of a joke to begin with. Like what they were going to pay for his surgery and pay to redo his,
Right.
remove the 6ix9ine off of his forehead or off of his face. Like who was paying for that? The
Yes.
federal government was going to start paying for tattoo removals?
Yeah.
Or like a lifetime supply of cover up. I don't really know how you could even put him in there. But I don't know. What do you think he should be in there? Do you ever think it was even going to happen? Like what happens when dude gets out?
He has to skip town. I think he has to leave New York. I think that's pretty obvious.
I don't think he can stay in New York. I think
Right.
he's nuts if he stays in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I always said, he could always go overseas and do something. Like, we in a great state of technology where you could be anywhere in the world literally and put your music out or put anything on the gram and it's gonna hit all over the globe. So I mean, he could go anywhere. He could do it remotely.
Well, you even had, what was it, Charlie Puth, who said that he would, I think he posted something that he would even make the first beat for Tekashi when he got out. And then quickly took that down, but did say that. So, I mean, he has support. He's got everybody's attention, and you even have people saying they're going to work with you. All right, let's see. What did the game said? He said, I feel sad for the kid. Feel sad for Tekashi. I feel sad for a lot of the kids that are getting into this shit and don't know what they're doing. They're claiming to be something they are not, and this is how it turns out. So this is the point. He's got to do what he has to do and save himself, but snitching ain't the way, partner. So how's he supposed to save himself if he wasn't snitching? I'm not really sure. I don't know what game means.
I guess he wasn't supposed to get into it in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I took from it.
He was supposed to get into the first place.
He wasn't gonna make money like that if he didn't, though, right?
I mean, we've seen plenty of rappers that's been affiliated with street guys and street individuals, and they didn't take it as far as Tekashi and his people allegedly took it. This is something that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. It's like you try to get into the music industry to actually save yourself or actually change your lifestyle from doing some of the things associated with bringing in penitentiary chances. So unfortunately it was moves that they did not make, and we see how it ends up now. I don't know. Tekashi seems like somebody who's maybe addicted to the spotlight as well. So
he definitely. I mean, even when you saw his testimony on stands, he corrected them on his hit songs and his singles and his accomplishments. So even in the courtroom on stands, he felt it necessary to stop them and tell them what he'd accomplished. So he definitely wants to make. I mean, it's definitely on his mind. He wants to let you know where he's at,
Right.
And what he's accomplished and stuff. There, I think I don't know how much of a humble person is going to come out of there.
It's just gonna be the most interesting thing to see how it unfolds. Like once he gets out of jail, and he's just a very, it's so divided. I saw something where some of the young kids were saying they don't care about the snitching thing or whatever. So it's gonna be interesting to see who. That's gonna be the big story. Who stands with him? Who turns their back on him? And exactly how he's actually able to put out music.
Yeah, and then even like what his energy is towards everyone else and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he gonna come out and have the same like aggression, the same trolling, the same like public persona that he did before. I would think he would, but then how does that work after?
I mean,
what
is
we
he
just
coming
saw?
out like, yeah, I beat this shit? You know, like, I mean, is
Right.
that ego going to exist? Like, yeah, you beat this shit at what cost? But I beat this shit. Like, I'm out. I'm the man. Like, is that going to be it? Is it going to be humbled and hide away and like, yeah, I know what I did was fucked up, but I had to live. You know, I don't think we have any idea where his mind. I mean, I want to see if he comes out and immediately redyes his hair rainbow, or if that's not an issue,
Right.
because I feel like even that is a message of himself of what he physically looks like, right?
Yeah.
And what he wants to present himself as. To me, if it's all brown hair, he's on the low. If he goes back rainbow, he's going hard. I don't know. I'm judging it all on the hair.
I think he'll come back rainbow.
I think he'll come back rainbow.
I mean,
too.
if he's gonna get back into the music, he got to get back into looking like how he was. If he's gonna get back into the music, the people that still love him and the people that still fans of his, they don't want to see a tone down. They want to see him probably even more turned up.
But he'll never make those music videos again. You know, we were talking earlier as a staff, like part of the interesting factor were those music videos he made with the whole hood come out and the subway and everything, you know, being underground. Like, he can't get that support. He can't have a bunch of dudes behind him anymore. Like, it'll be interesting just to see what his visual presentation is based on even what he came in as, you know?
Right. It is always green screen.
There's
CGI.
You know, I mean, you could pay actors.
You could pay actors. It's true.
You could pay actors.
You could. That's probably what's going to happen. You can pay a bunch of actors.
Half of the Shakespearean theater.
So in the midst, so what do we think about it if he really gets out in 2020? I think it'll be this year, but if he really gets out in 2020, I mean, that's 4 months away, right?
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
It's gonna be hard for him regardless, because like I said, even before all of the drama with the feds and everything, he was just running into so many obstacles because of the beef. He really couldn't do shows in America. Like,
more than we even realized of how much he was held back, right? Because of stuff going on.
And that's like the biggest, for most artists, that's their biggest stream of revenue is artist shows. Like,
yep.
Who's gonna come to a Tekashi concert? Is it even safe? Like, I'm sure, like,
who's gonna put on the show?
Right. Yeah. Who's gonna promote it? But you can't even get his show insured, probably. Like, you gotta get insurance to do these shows. I don't even see an insurance company actually doing that. Live Nation is not gonna put him on the tour. Like, it's an air of violence and it's an air of danger, especially if it's somebody who is supposed to be under federal protection. Like,
but even with him, it's also like, who do you trust when you get out, right? I mean, we even found out that his driver was an informant, or his driver was working with the feds. So, I mean, he was investigated longer than he realized by people that he'd even know. So just like you can't trust him for the snitch stuff, there are people who were on the other side snitching on him, right? So he's going to come out, and who does he even trust or have anything to do with? Or it's just an interesting state.
Yeah, because
he was, not to boo-hoo him, but there were people who lied to him and caught him up too.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, a lot of the rappers, a lot of rappers and stuff, or a lot of artists, period, like, we see them come into the game and we slowly learn about, like, their day one crew, like.
Oh, yeah, his day one crew is not.
Yeah, he doesn't even have any other day one crew, so I don't even know who his day one crew is, to be honest with you. Like, so I think it's gonna be tough for him all the way across the board. I don't see him ever being as big as he once was.
I thought I was tired of the case. Like, I was tired of it a few months ago, whatever. Now I'm just a whole new thing. Can't get enough of it. I mean, we're still waiting on the verdicts for this trial and to see how people respond to that. That should be next week. But I can't get enough of it because I've never seen anything like it. I can't get enough talking about it. I've just never seen anything like it. Within the hip-hop space, we all have just no idea what could happen. And chances, I don't know, part of it makes me feel like whatever will happen will not be what we thought would happen,
Right. I want to know who's going to be the first TV show to do the dramatization of it. Like, cause we're going to see it. Because, Law and Order for a while, they were pretty fast with turning around
Law
and
Order
SVU.
Yeah. Ice-T gets involved.
I gotta ask Ice-T what's going on, man, when I see Ice.
Oh, it's a great documentary. Who picks up the documentary, right? You've got footage. You've got the wiretap call. I mean, you've got so much material for a doc. or I mean, even script it. Who knows? But it is such a story. Even I guess it's not done, so we don't know where it's going to go. But anyway, it could be tired. So let's move on.
Just real quick. I just hope it just serves as a wake up call, man. Just for we got so many up and coming organizations and hip hop people that's trying to get into the music, and you see what happens when you into it and you not really respecting the culture. Like you just doing stuff that's not proactive and not necessarily helping to build the culture. I just hope it serves as a wake up call for anybody trying to get into this.
But what if it doesn't? What if everything's fine? He gets off fine. He comes out. He has a song. Kids still like him, and it's not the core street audience that likes him. It's different hip hop fans that are into it. They make him big again. We don't know what big is or who's going to work with him, but if you come out, you've got people that supported you who are not saying that they think you shouldn't have snitched, and they're like, I would have done it too. Then is the lesson learned, or is it like, hey, you got away with it. I would have done that anyway. Keep pushing. I don't know if the lesson's learned if people still fuck with him and he's still in the industry, right?
Not even for him. I'm just thinking about even like the crew, like the people that was associated with him. Like a lot of stuff. You got to think, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's really my question about everything every day. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Anything that happens in life, is it worth it?
I can't see anybody with a minuscule amount of intelligence looking at this and saying that, okay, there was this kid who numerous occasions got shot at, couldn't have these big records, can't even make money going on tour. Like he couldn't go on one tour, he couldn't do shows, got his money stolen from him, extorted from him, kidnapped, whatever little bit of money that he had, he probably put it on these lawyers. For what?
Right. Like, was it worth it, basically?
So in the midst of all of it, Jim got pulled in a little bit, and then he had some bad news this week with the foreclosure of his house and heading down to Miami. I think. I don't know. He's got a house in Miami, right? So I think he's back and forth between the two.
Yeah, Jim, I think, for the most part, I think Jim, Miami has been his headquarters. I can't say for sure, but I know a lot of times when I speak to him, he's down there. So I always got the feeling like Miami was his headquarters. That's a paradise for a lot of people in and out of rap, man. My little brother moved down to Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, left me in New York. And every time it's
in the cold.
Every time it's cold, he hits me on FaceTime, him and my nephew. Like it could be in the middle of November. We in the middle of a snowstorm. They hit me on FaceTime in flip flops and shorts, and they laughing at me. He's like, "Hey, we saw the weather report. You freezing out there." So I don't know. I think I heard that Jim's house got foreclosed. But I don't know if it's something that they was really paying a lot of attention to. Jim is for what a lot of people have to say about him, he's one of the smartest guys as far as financially. Like Jim is, he knows how to flip a dollar, he knows how to make a dollar, and I think if it's something that he was really invested into at home, they would have maintained it, but I don't know.
All right, we'll let it go. So we put a tweet up this week. What's the best diss track of all time?
Yeah.
And it got picked up like crazy. And next thing you know, No Vaseline and Ether were trending on Twitter, and it created a pretty big conversation. What do you think? I mean, I'm a big believer that negative always wins, right? And so the diss song is just another level of thinking negative. But besides that, I don't know. What's your favorite diss song?
First of all, I think it's a conversation that's always going to be something that's going to galvanize people to engage in, because we always remember those days, man. Rap is, I know it's rappers beefing now, but it's just a little bit more politically correct. It seems to be a little bit more unity than it was a while ago.
Or the disses are more subliminal versus completely, blatant, like I think they used to be, or you were like, I think he got him on that. Like, I think he mentioned him on his line.
I haven't heard a good diss
record
in a long time. I haven't heard a good diss record in a long time.
What was the last? We went through the whole Pusha and Drake and Meek era.
That was
we
the
had
last.
Nicki and Remy with Sheather Shether. whatever that is. And
yeah, Sheath was pretty vicious.
But you remember there was a time like, and this was at the height of mixtapes where you would actually get an entire mixtape with nothing but diss records.
Our mixtape's dead.
Man,
Our
mixtape's
story's in
dead.
here. So
Yes.
it ties into the same thing. So we have a video going up. So we got a bunch of industry people, including Mr. Shaw Money over here. And we did something on our mixtapes dead. So I think they kind of go hand in hand. Our mixtapes dead. Do they still exist? And then where does the diss song fit in? Because the diss song didn't come from the album. It came from the mixtape, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which also didn't really need. You kind of needed the mixtape then, whereas now you just put it on SoundCloud, put it on wherever, put it straight to Spotify. So I don't know if you necessarily need the mixtape in the same way.
So
for
what's the most
diss
vicious
purposes.
diss song or best diss song that didn't come through, came through more recently, not through a mixtape?
I mean, you could say Drake back to back. That was I'll always hold that one up pretty high because even though, some of the classic ones, the Ethers, the No Vaselines,
Takeovers, 300
Takeovers,
bars.
those are
Back to
more
Back was hard.
those are probably more intense and more like concentrated, like just I don't know, just like airing someone out.
Mhm.
But I think just the way that Drake went about it, and he made it like something that you couldn't escape that summer. You just hearing it everywhere.
He made it a hit record. I think
He made me into a joke almost.
Well, this
that
is
record.
why my number one, and I love the record No Vaseline. I think that's probably number two. I remember exactly.
Wait, No Vaseline's number 2.
For me.
Are you keeping a secret on what number 1 is?
No, I'm about to break it
Okay.
down. To me, I think number one got to be The Bridge Is Over.
Got a lot of replies,
KRS-One.
yeah.
Because it's one of the first ones, and it kind of set the blueprint of it was hard, but he made it like one of the most classic party records in all of hip hop. So it was something where it was like, like back to back. To me, Takeover and Back to Back kind of took from that blueprint of making the song not just a diss record, but a hit record and a party song where DJs had to play it over and over, like every night. I could imagine like MC Shan and them, they go into the club and it's like, it's no way you can. And I'm from Queens personally. I'm from
Right.
Queens. So, I rep my borough, JFK rep the borough
Yes,
too,
sir.
but it's like, The Bridge Is Over, when that came out, I mean, I was so young, but it was something that just really, I just remember every car, whether it was the drug dealers, whether it was the regular working guy, every car, headphones, radio, that was a record that you really couldn't escape. Like, it was to the point where it was such a big hit, and it was such a record to do the WAP and everything when that was out. It was so big that you almost even forgot that it was a diss record because you just loved the record so much. And then, when that song came out, that just really kind of just made it so bad for MC Shan and them too. Like, that's my thing with diss records too. Like, when you put it out, what is the level of pain and agony? Not physical, but what's the level?
mental anguish.
Yeah.
I'm always like, how
emotional.
many times did you listen to it and who did you play it for?
Right.
Like who that you got the co-signer that you felt like, okay, this is what to go with. How confident were you, or what did you need as the confidence builder to go in that this was the right move?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes when people hear it, it was like one of them, like, some of these records just feel like no-brainers, but
Well, what about Ether? What about the Takeover? What about Hit 'Em Up? I mean, these were some of the most common replies we got, of other songs that people seem to live.
you know what?
You can make an argument for Hit 'Em Up and how vicious that was.
I still
Except
can't.
he let his little homies ride on him and he lost me a little bit there.
Yeah, I got on a Biggie shirt too. Like, I just, man, Hit 'Em Up. That was vicious. I mean,
Yeah.
I love Big so much. I still can't really listen to Hit 'Em Up, to be honest with you. Like, it comes on, I don't listen to it.
But that's the
because
power of the song.
That's the power of the song, and I just don't like how it. Obviously nobody does. I don't like how that particular quarrel and everything, how it ended, man, and
Right.
just it just gives me like just a sour mood, man. And I'm a huge Tupac fan. I listen to all the other Tupac records, but Hit 'Em Up, I just still to this day, I just can't listen to it.
There was a
still
time
bothers
period
me.
when every rapper was also making kind of their own version of Hit 'Em Up. You know, like
Yeah.
remaking Hit 'Em Up. Like there was a time where it was like, I'm having my Hit 'Em Up moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I feel like Corrupt calling out names is kind of similar to that.
Yeah, yeah.
In that sense.
Calling out names was crazy, but I just feel like that it didn't have a moment. Like it was something that was talked about and people was kind of shocked, but I feel like it wasn't like a long lasting beef with those people. I feel like it got squashed as soon as the song came out, damn near. So I can't put that in the top 10. I'm gonna say Ether's number 2 because I think the Jay and Nas beef.
Well, that ended
that
nicely.
It ended nicely, so that's why we don't have problems listening to it because we know how that ends, and it ends on a great way. But I just think that the two of them back and forth, the two kings of rap at the time, man, going for the throne, and just the back and forth, like the Summer Jam.
Right.
You know, him
it was
throwing that
remember being in the room with all of this stuff.
Yes.
You know, the Summer Jam wasn't outside then. It was indoors.
Yeah, it was at,
at
the Nassau Coliseum
and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, all the stuff happening with that.
Yeah, that's the year he brought out Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He brought out EPMD.
And then then Diplomats went into the studio that night, right? And so what was when Jay's response to Ether was super ugly, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where we lost the momentum a little bit.
That's where it was. That's where it just kind of ended. Then for the first
did his mom get mad about it or something?
Yeah.
He went on radio saying his mom was like offended. Yeah.
And you know that was the time when I think Fat Joe was on Hot 97 and they was actually having people call in to calculate the votes.
Yeah.
What do y'all think is better? Was it Ether or was it the Takeover? And you know, Nas won. You know, the people called in and it was just such a great momentum shift too because
then he signs him, you know, and then Jay signs like
Ultimate
that was
twist.
shocking, right?
yeah, that was a twist.
And they come out on stage and announce everything, yeah.
But I do miss those days, man. I do miss those days of every week you going back and forth. Gotta get your mixtape to hear.
Jadakiss and Beanie, I still remember that.
Jadakiss and Beanie was serious.
Yeah.
Cause those are two relentless lyricists going back and forth. And I tell you, one of my favorite stories is they had the Powerhouse in Philly, and Jada was a headliner. This when Jada was hot. Jada
right.
Kiss, you know what I'm saying? He's still hot, one of the greatest. But this when Jada had singles and he was just coming out as a solo artist, and man, he went into Philly, and it was just like watching Roddy Piper cut a promo on WWF because he was.
I love when you guys talk in wrestling analogies.
He was rocking the whole show.
That's what that was, right?
Yeah, wrestling now. Yeah, because you know Jada's loved it. You know he's East Coast heavy, but they love him in Philly. You know, almost as much as he's loved in New York. So he goes down there. He's one of the headliners. He's rocking the whole show, killing it. He started dissing Beans.
Right.
Beans' hometown of Philly.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is crazy. But Jada, you know, I give it to him. He stood his ground. Like, he didn't stop. He kept going. But it was really just like watching a bad guy, or as in wrestling terminology, they say a heel, talk about the fan favorite heavyweight champion. It was just like, you know, Triple H was saying something bad about The Rock or something like that. That people was just booing so crazy, and Jada was just standing his ground, man. But you know, that just goes to show you that, you know, as much as they love Jada in Philly, they could never front on the Broad Street Bully in his hometown.
Hero.
And
Did that Beans come out that same night, or am I bugging?
Did Beans come out that night? I think Beans probably did come out that night.
Like,
man.
I feel like he came out
was there
after and said
he probably was there.
His own thing down.
Yeah. I think Beans was there, but you know that was so good, man, because it was people of just kind of equal. When they do the tail of the tape, it was people of kind of just equal footing. Beans and Free. Jada Styles. Sheik didn't jump into it too much. I know Jada Styles was in it, and you know, they was taking a couple subliminals at Jay-Z on them Clue mixtapes too. You know, it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's one of my other favorites too? It's not a traditional diss record, but it kind of just set off a little spark with a halfway beef. It was fun. Shorty Low, and he said, "Well, goddamn, it must be two sides." Yo, God bless Shorty Low, man. Rest in peace, man. But
Rest in peace.
you know, when he started going that tip, it was funny, man, because you know, obviously, Tip, superior lyricist, of course, you know, one of the great. He just had a birthday too. Happy birthday to him. But I could tell that it was really irritating T.I.
Right.
You know? But then the great thing about it, Shorty Low, who is not known for being this wordsmith, he had some hot records. And
Right.
he was getting a lot of love. I don't think the fans were turning on T.I. in favor of Shorty Low, but they did love Shorty Low so much, man.
Right.
Like I remember he came out at Birthday Bash in Atlanta. He did Done It All, and he just was killing it, man. It was just fun. So that was fun just to see that short back and forth between the two of them. Him, you know, claiming that Tip was fake, and then you know the two of them, they later got together and they squashed everything too. So
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun. I loved speaking of Tip, I love Tip and Ludacris going at it.
Oh, Luda, yeah.
Tip and
That
Luda
was
going
crazy.
at it. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
On the same record, on Stomp, on
On the
Young Bucks
same
record. Yeah.
on the same record. And I just remember we did Great Day in Atlanta for MTV News. Not too far after that came out, and it was like, damn, we gotta have Tip there and we gotta have Luda there. Like, what's gonna happen? Because they still had their beef, but you know they squashed everything, man. They saw the bigger picture that it was for the city, and you know when we say diss records and we say the word beef, like a lot of these things wasn't like beef like on site we fighting type beef.
Right.
No, a few of them were, but
Yeah.
most of the part, that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
And they weren't even crossing paths like that anyway.
Yeah, one-upsmanship.
Yeah.
Right.
One-upsmanship.
Competition.
And rap.
I always loved, I don't care how corny it was, but I loved Nail in the Coffin and the Sauce from Eminem just because he had gone into his whole career without any sort of diss songs. And then it was like he was just driven to the point where finally he had to say stuff. And I thought it was great. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't really like he had valid competition the same way that some of these other guys did. But the moment from him and the songs themselves, like, they capture a time period for me, which were pretty crazy. But also, I just think he did his thing on those, and we were like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
Eminem's mad!" You know?
Right.
Oh yeah, those was great. Cause you know M comes from that battle culture.
Right,
This is
that
something
battle culture, but he didn't take
Right.
advantage of it by
Yes.
being that type of person in his career, and then it came to that time.
Yes,
Right.
and actually a lot of these people come from it. You know, Mace and Jada and DMX and
Cam. Yep.
Jay-Z, like they come from. I think that's why the battles from back in the days were so great, and we love them so much. And they still, I'm talking about Bridges Over. That's 30 some years old, but we still love them so much because the rappers used to be bred on the battle. That used to be one of the come up, like they would battle in the streets. You know, we saw the battle in the pool hall with Jay-Z and DMX, like, and these are people that it was actually a sport. They used to battle for money, battle for respect. Now, you know, I'm sure a lot of these guys right now are not battling. It's a whole different day.
They
now.
doing it for clout.
It's a whole different day now, man. But a lot of these guys, a lot of the battles that we love, you know, Pusha T, man.
Ooh,
Come
second
on.
round knockout. We
Come
didn't even
on.
go
Second
there.
round knockout. Yeah.
I mean,
was crazy.
I thought L's.
Rip the Jacker.
I mean, second. I'm gonna put it like this: second round knockout was incredible, but it came at a
So
time.
long ago.
Yeah. Especially Mike Tyson on there.
Yeah.
Eat. That it was stupid when it came out. It was stupid, but it came at a time where he was actually fighting such an uphill battle because L was so big.
And his whole career was that. It was never the same.
Yeah, and we loved L so much.
Yeah.
Like, are we ready for LL to be taken out of hip hop by this guy?
And how dare you
Cannabis?
do that?
Yeah, like
right.
So L could have did anything, but I thought L verse on the record, on the actual record that sparked the beef, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
But he was like, "You don't want to take this
mic off my
my
arm,
God.
right?"
Yeah.
He murdered that. I think L and Kumo D was a little bit better,
right?
Because Kumo D, he dropped the record, and he was just every insulting word that started with L, lackluster, lethargic, lazy. He was going in, but again, L, man, he's come on. I think L might be the greatest when it comes to these battles, man.
He's been through a lot, for
he's
sure.
just so loved. He's like somebody who, one of the first superstars that we seen, the first superstar solo that we seen, and we just love L so much, and it just you had to root for him in these things, man. You had to root for him. Like, it's no way we could see L being taken out, and then to the break of dawn, and he had a lot of words from OD and Ice-T on that, and the thing that I love about LL so much is that no matter how big he was, no matter how platinum he was still petty.
Yeah.
He was still petty.
It's a good way to describe it.
Even after he dissed Cannabis, squashed him, he came back the next
for another
album.
one, right?
I said, damn.
Facts. And he's from Queens too.
And he's from Queens.
All right, so favorite diss of all time.
Favorite? I think I gotta go Ether.
Mm.
I gotta go Ether just because for me that was such a big moment, as I was a huge Nas fan. I was also a huge Jay fan, and I just remember at the time when Takeover comes out, it's like, damn, what's Nas gonna do? Like, it's like, is this it? Like,
Not gonna, yeah. Right.
And I remember.
And the reply being so up to par. When somebody makes a first song, you never know if the second response is going to be anywhere near.
Right.
You're already on the defensive.
Exactly.
Right? Because you've already been attacked. So it being the response song, I don't know. That's always seems like the harder thing.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was nervous for Nas, man, because.
Yeah.
It was emotionally attacked. It was a very emotional. It was so sensitive to both of them.
Yeah. Big whole fan, and it was so interesting just to watch the shift, because we would go to Jay-Z dropped the Blueprint, which is arguably still his best album. Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint Part 1, whichever way you go, one of those are his best, but it's in his top 2. So Jay's in the game for so many years. At the time, what was that? 2001 Blueprint came out. He's in the game 5-6 years at the time, which seems like an eternity back then.
Right.
Comes out with his best album, drops the Takeover. Takeover that's got to be a top 5 disc record too. Takeover was brilliant, amazing record. Go to the Blueprint Lounge tour, because he didn't do the big arenas for Blueprint originally. He did like Hammerstein Ballroom type things, the Blueprint Lounge tours. Doing Takeover every night, having the audience lame and all of that, just having the whole audience like really diss Nas, and I'm such a Nas fan too. I'm like, damn, I don't want to see my man go out like this, because he had the freestyle or whatever. He had the little freestyle, hit the freeway, go after beans, and that was cool. But Takeover was just killing it, and the album was so dope. Jay just had so much momentum. I was like, damn. And then I remember before Nas's album came out, I get the call to the studio to come hear the album. So one of the first, you remember Miguel from Colombia?
Miguel Miguel, right?
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah.
Nas's publicist. He gave me the call. We go to the studio to hear it. One of the first records he played for me was Ether. I said, oh, he's back in the game. I said, it ain't over yet. And I remember I called Ramon immediately as soon as I got out the session, because Nas is Ramon's favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Ramon should be here today.
Yeah, he should be.
He's got excuses, but this was his combo.
So and this is a conversation. These are real conversations we used to have, not just as journalists, but just as fans, man. Like, damn, is it over for Nas? Like, could it be over? It can't be over. I refuse to believe it's over for Nas.
Mind you, Nas is coming off of Nostradamus, not his best work as well. So the momentum didn't seem to be in his favor either.
His mom was sick at the time, so it was just a tough time for him all around. But I hit Ramon in the call as soon as I got out the studio. Yo, he got this record called Ether. It's crazy. It ain't over. It ain't over. He's coming back. He's like, word, it's coming back. And then it dropped, man. So it was just so dope to see just the two kings of rap. I don't think besides when Big didn't really participate with the back and forth with Tupac.
There was a few subliminals here and there, but not a full record.
So yeah, he actually did a diss record for Pac that he recorded with I can't really give it away, but he did a diss record for Pac that never came out. So
I've heard about this before. Yeah.
It didn't come out, but that would have been a whole different dynamic.
Who do you think has it?
Puff Daddy.
Yeah,
I'm sure Puff Daddy has it. Yeah, but we've heard it, like it's come out, but it's been altered a little bit. But Jay and Nas, this was like the two kings, man. Like I don't know another one where it's like the two top guys, Meek and Drake.
Well, Drake is the top half of that. Meek and Drake, or Pusha and Drake. They, as much as we love Pusha and Meek, they weren't at the same level. I think that Biggie and Tupac were, or Nas and Jay were. I think it helped them a lot.
I think that we thought that Kendrick and Drake was going to be that, though.
Oh, I never thought that. Really?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
didn't look at that as Kendrick's personality.
True. Yeah.
But anything was possible.
That's another one I didn't want to see, man. Like, I don't want to see Kendrick and J. Cole get into no battles, man. I like.
I think they'll pop up with a joint album before they pop up with
I wasn't saying. Yeah, I wasn't saying against each other. I'm just saying, like, I don't even want to see them battling
in a back and forth with anyone.
I don't want to see that. I think those guys are just so great in what they do in their lane. It'd be interesting now. Yeah. I'm going to tune in. Like, if somebody get on the wrong side of them and just hear what they got to say, I'm definitely gonna be tuned in. But you know what other diss record we forgetting about?
What's that?
Mr. Buster, where the fuck you at? Can't scrap a lick.
And he wasn't known for he Buster didn't diss anybody, and he's like, kind of drove me to do this.
Oh my God, that Dre day, man. Come on, video going at Eazy-E. That's got to be a top 5 too. I
like how Shaw's top 5 is like a top 15.
No, my top 5. I go to Bridges Over. This is in no category. I'm going Bridges Over. Gotta go Ether. Gotta go Take Over. Gotta go No Vaseline. And damn.
Yeah, what about, KRS-One and Nelly?
Oh, forget about that one.
Nelly gave him some bars, though. I'm not going to front.
All right, okay, so this song. So let's move on. So today we're recording this podcast on Thursday evening. So tomorrow's release day. So is Kanye coming out or not? We've got the Jesus album tomorrow or not? They're saying no. Kim's hinting kind of that they are. I don't know. She's tweeted that Jesus is king. You take that how you want.
I mean, if she's tweeting about it, I guess she would be the best one to know, right?
Right.
I wouldn't expect it at midnight, though. I don't think he's going to make the deadline.
Right.
Like, 11:59.
I don't know. Did they sell no T-shirts? I'm not sure yet.
Look how long we had to wait for the other one, the last album.
Yeah,
It came out like.
I don't think it's even done yet, right? Life of Pablo, he's still tweaking it.
Right.
Like, that was the thing. It came out, and they're like, no, he's still working on it. He's still working on it. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed back, though. Or if it comes out Sunday, or if it comes out, I know, but I mean, I think
It gives us something to talk about besides just the. I mean, I don't know. Everything seems has to me has such an ulterior motive with his project. I don't know. I find the pureness of it to be a little difficult to find. You know.
It feels like Sunday is the day, right? Since
Sunday
it's a
should be the day.
service.
Sunday should be the
Right.
day. Yeah. I mean, you don't really care about first week sales. Come on, you know, just drop it.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if he'll say I didn't even get a full week, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Okay, so we think he's coming out with it.
I mean, it seems
I
like,
don't think so.
but it also seems like what the reports are saying are like that some people from the label were essentially like a creative difference of like they were trying to stop him from dropping the album for whatever reason.
But why try to stop Kanye?
Right, exactly.
Nobody learned the lesson yet. Like, leave the dude alone. He's gonna do whatever he wants to do.
That's a money maker. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I
So I
don't
don't
know.
know.
With Kanye, you gotta kind of expect the unexpected. He's such a wild card.
Right.
You never know. But I think like I gotta agree with JFK. I don't know if it'll be out on Friday, but Sunday.
Yeah.
You were the one who said Sunday first. Though.
Sunday service.
All right, and what about DaBaby? He's coming out, announced an album.
He's
last
definitely
minute.
coming out on Friday.
Kirk, right? He's named
Yep.
after his father, I believe. And what do we think? He's got a song called XXL. We assume we just wouldn't diss us just because,
Right.
you know, why should it? But you never know.
You know what me and JFK were talking before we started recording, and you know when I first saw him and performing in the baby diaper and all of that, and
That turned everybody off in this office. The baby diaper, like, offended some of the staff highly.
Yeah, I wasn't offended by it, but I just thought he was gonna be one of those guys that's a very
Joke.
on a novelty type thing.
Right.
You know,
Right,
I didn't know what to expect, but I gotta say that he's definitely grown. Like, I love the guest appearances. I love the stuff that he did on the Dreamville album. I like him. I like him and Megan Thee Stallion. What he got on
We
that.
take credit for that. Even though there's no reason. But them being in the same safe, we're like, we made that duo.
No, that's
We don't
dope.
know.
And he's a very charismatic dude.
He just said he gets $100,000 a feature. You believe
sure.
that? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
that's
a lot
why
of
he
money.
doesn't do a lot. I don't think J. Cole and pay him no.
I mean, I heard he's been around for
$100,000.
years and has a lot of guest features in the vaults himself.
Yeah.
That he's been collaborating with people for years, and we're still going to hear stuff coming out. But it's definitely interesting. I don't think they're throwing the record out because people seem excited by it, but it definitely came, real quick. And all of a sudden, it's the.
Yeah, I think that's
Right.
that's,
But
that's the
if
state.
you're not going up against Kanye, because we don't know,
Yeah,
you have a potential for a really good day.
I think
Week.
I mean, Kanye might help him if
I
Kanye
think
does
if-
come out the same day.
I think he might do better than Kanye.
Mm.
Baby is red hot right now, man. What I was gonna say is he's a very charismatic dude, and one of the things that really has won me over with him is that he could really rap. Like he's not the whole baby diaper. I guess that sometimes you do things to get you in the door, and love it or hate it, it was the most talked about thing from South by Southwest that weekend, and it kind of helped him get his deal. And he has one of the hottest executives, Caroline, behind him, and she's very smart when it comes to putting together records, and she knows the music industry. He's over on Interscope.
No, he could really deliver.
Great
We could have,
team,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we could be really,
He has a
really
lot of
happy with tomorrow's release.
good features too. Nikki is on the album, and YK is a few people's on it.
Yeah. I want to see if
I'm looking forward to it.
I want to see how much he gets personal, how much he sort of starts revealing more of his actual story and things like that, like sort of what we see on intro.
I think there's a lot about him we don't know that's missing still,
Right.
right? So hopefully he'll fill up blanks in a little bit on the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you name the album, you name Kirk, and the cover is you and your dad as
Right.
You have the baby as a baby on the cover.
I mean, but we've seen that a lot of times. Does that feel tired? I mean, how many albums are named after rappers' first names where they put their baby picture up? It does. We could make a
It's a
large
lot.
gallery of that.
It's definitely a lot. I mean, from Illmatic to Ready to Die. So I just think they like this.
Good
People
kid.
like to see the progression.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those albums, when they got your baby picture on the cover, is hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a damn good track record. The Carter series, Illmatic, Ready to Die. It's a damn good track record for playing it. Hey, we found the formula.
Next issue, all of our baby pictures.
It has been cracked. The Da Vinci Code.
Yep.
All right, so tomorrow, let's see if we get Kanye. See how we feel about the Baby album. I think it's going to be good. I'm curious to see what the sales are on everything. And it seems like it was kind of a slow week. That's it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, I just can't wait to hear these songs. And, you know, if these albums do come out, I guess we'll compare them next week.
We'll compare them next week.
What's the top shotter?
I do think they won't be anything alike.
Right.
I don't think they'll be anything
I think that's safe
alike.
to say.
All right, that's it. Thank you for listening to the most recent episode of Moments of Clarity.
Yes.
Next week.
Week out.
More diss records.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place next week.